Bosco's again? How'd we end up back here?
Judging from the lack of safety railings and ready availability of guns and ammo, I'd say we've gone back in time. Seems to be sometime in the early... Sweet mother of mole sauce!
You fools gonna buy something, or do you want to make a baby?
Well now... The one constant across all human cultures of all times is a massive amount of waste. Hey Max, remember that old carbon dater we got from Sybil last year?
Yeah, we gave it to Bosco so he could keep scanning his weenies.
Looks like he's made some modifications to it. They're
beautiful. Whee!
Baby food and bum wipes. If you use less of one, you wouldn't need as many of the other. What a waste. What a senseless waste. Looks like a weird bread-making machine.
Don't be silly. That's my baby maker. You take a spit sample from the mother and one from the father, mix them together in that machine, and then out comes a happy little bundle of perfection.
Finally, somebody explains how that works.
That's not the generally agreed upon method, Max. This sample says Mama Bosco.
Don't touch that! I made that sample when my spit was most fertile.
This sample has been completely contaminated by milk. It'll have to be replaced. What are we doing here in the past again?
Aren't we trying to get Bosco back to the way we've always known him?
Oh, that's right. And why are we doing that again?
Well, it beats having to think up new insults.
How are you enjoying the 60s, Max?
I want to get out of here before they start swinging, Sam.
Remember, Max, if we see a hippie, just shoot to wound. We don't want to kill the parents of any important scientists or something.
Right, because all the best scientists have names like Tree and Sunshine.
Hang loose, Max.
That's the only way I know how to hang.
What's this?
It's my chemical sampler. Get somebody to spit on it, and it gives you a sample test tube for the baby maker.
Mind if we borrow it?
Go ahead. I already got all I need.
Gives timeout for number one, a whole new meeting. Cold orange things you suck never go out of style. Milk and hooch. Something for the kiddies and something for your cereal.
Whee!
Russians send first woman into space.
Soon they'll send all their women into space.
A nice-aged bottle of Nippy Valley brand vinegar.
Ah, some idiot left the cork in, Sam. It's still wine.
Let's just let that breathe for a few decades, Max. No timeout needed. We're better to crunch numbers than in the John. "9mm hollow points are always special. You must be Mrs. Bosco."
That's Ms. Bosco. I don't want any part of your oppressive patriarchy.
Fair enough, ma'am. Miss, you.
Who are you?
Sam and Max, freelance police.
Finally, the police. Maybe you can help me catch that fool.
Which fool did you want us to catch exactly?
That man who just came in here yelling about conspiracies and busting up the place.
Bosco always did know how to make a memorable first impression.
Can you tell us more about the man who trashed your shop?
He took one look at me and screamed.
That should narrow the list of suspects down to any man with eyes.
Then he stumbled back and ran right into my baby maker.
Ouch!
We can't take the case, but we'll keep an eye out for your vandal, Miss Bosco.
I swear if I ever find him, I'm gonna make sure he gets no pleasure in this life.
Ah, I haven't heard a tale of motherly love like that since the Manchurian Candidate.
We can't take the case.
I swear if...
We're here to help your son.
I don't have a son. You think it's not enough I'm a businesswoman and inventor? A woman's only useful if she's got a son.
It's not that. We're friends with him.
Well, acquaintances.
We know him.
We've spoken to him more than once.
Doesn't matter. I'm not defined by my children. But when I do have one, she's gonna be the most perfect little angel.
What was that you said about making a baby?
I'm made uncomfortable by this line of questioning, Sam.
That's just because you're scared of a world where career-minded women don't need to be tied to a man to have a family. This ain't the past anymore. It's the 1960s. They can talk about putting a person on the moon, and I can invent a baby-making machine.
Well, how does this baby-making machine work?
You just take a DNA sample from the mother and the other person and combine them in that machine. Let it bake a couple hours and you've got a beautiful baby girl. Or boy, I guess. I've already got my own samples in there. I'm gonna test it out tonight after closing.
How do you get the DNA samples?
Isn't that obvious? Saliva, fools!
Well, naturally.
Oh, of course.
Where'd you get the father's sample?
Oh, him. Well, I was just in Washington, D.C. for a special occasion, and when I was touring the White House, I met a nice man in a dark suit. He was polite and didn't say much. Seemed like his spit was as good as anybody else's, so I picked him.
Where'd you get the father's sample?
Oh, him. Well, I was just in Washington, D.C. for a special occasion, and when I was touring the White House, I met a nice man in a dark suit. He was polite and didn't say much. Seemed like his spit was as good as anybody else's, so I picked him.
See you later, Miss Bosco.
We're gonna pick up some swingin' 60s chicks and start a groovy hullabaloo.
Men.
Cut it out, Max. You don't even like girls.
Oh, right.
You got a problem with women?
Nah, just never interested. With all the general malice I have to get done in a day, girls are just a huge waste of time.
I have never been as turned on as I am right now.
What?
You just never found the right woman, and I never found the right man. Forget the baby maker.
Catastrophic temporal anomaly detected.
Run away with me, Max, my white stallion.
Curse my irresistible animal magnetism.
Miss Bosco, I really think you should reconsider.
I can already see us, living next door to that nice detective.
Well, it would be nice having someone to do my laundry.
You don't even wear clothes.
And yet I always end up with so many blood-stained shirts. 'Tis a mystery.
Think of your children. What about that?
I won't need kids once I have the love of my Max. He'll be my new little pet project.
Think of your...
He'll...
Max just isn't that into you.
Oh, geez, Sam, show a little tact. What he means to say is, there is absolutely no way, no how I would ever be interested in you until the day the Earth is consumed by the flames of our exploding sun.
You say that now.
Max is belligerent, recalcitrant, and quite possibly psychotic.
So you're jealous, is that it? Want to keep him all to yourself?
I never knew you felt this way, Sam.
Temporal anomaly detected.
Shut up! It's not like that. Max doesn't even like girls.
They're a nuisance at best.
Hasn't been interested since... When did that start exactly?
I think it all goes back to that time we were... No flashback? Okay. Well, it's been ever since junior high.
Max is no good for you.
Oh, I can fix him.
I'm a bad seed. I can't be faithful to just one woman.
Oh, I'm enough for at least a dozen women. You dog, you.
We're from different worlds. I'm from Earth, and you're from the freakiest planet of the freak system.
Opposites attract, baby. You're the only man not falling over himself to get me.
I'm president of the U.S., and you'd make a lousy first lady.
You just don't know what you want. I may not be the first, but I'm the last lady you'll ever need.
I'm married to my career.
They had the ceremony in Canada because it's legal there.
All those excuses you keep making just prove you need me.
Just looking at you repulses me.
And that's from a guy who has a 12-volume scrapbook labeled Things I Have Shed.
You can try to push me away, but I know how you really feel.
I think I'd rather take napalm and an IV drip while being pulled through a wheat thresher than spend another second with you.
You can't get rid of me that easy.
You're wasting your time, Miss Bosco. Max just isn't interested.
The more he protests, the more I know he's the one. What was that?
It printed a time card with a presidential seal and some strange numbers. It printed out a card with the Intergalactic Freelance Police logo. Sounds intriguingly futuristic. It printed a time card with Stinky's logo on it.
What do you think you're doing?
You know, the usual, traveling through time and stuff.
Override. You've caused a catastrophic temporal anomaly. You're going back to the ship so you can think about what you've done. Just look at what you did.
Sam, what's a catastrophic temporal paradox?
That!
What the hell did you guys do?
Max, when you made Mama Bosco decide not to have a baby, that meant Bosco was never born.
But if Bosco was never born, then we never would have gone back to meet Mama Bosco in the first place. Neat!
Are you fools just gonna stand there explaining everything, or are you gonna fix me?
Sheesh! Give a guy a cool cow body, and all of a sudden he's the owner of the time stream.
Bosco already scanned himself. Did you miss us?
What have you two been doing all this time?
Hanging out with your mom.
Real classy guys, fine. Don't help me.
Feeling better, Bosco?
I don't know you guys. I still feel kinda distant. What did you guys do?
We kinda made it so that you've never been born. Whoops.
But being born is one of the greatest things I ever did. Fix it, you fools!
Existence isn't something you can just ask for, Bosco. You've got to earn it.
How's life as a paradox treating you, Bosco?
It sucks, man. I want to exist all the way again. Do something!
How is this THEM detector supposed to work again?
It's a highly sophisticated technology that works based on a target person. You scan somebody with it, then use that to open a new destination for the time machine.
Finally, a straight answer. I don't know why they started outsourcing tech support to store owners on spaceships.
Can you describe your father for us?
Man, I thought you guys were detectives. Haven't you figured out I was a test tube baby? My mama didn't need a man. I got everything from her.
Where'd you get your paranoid fear of giant invisible conspiracies out to kill you?
That's a chemical imbalance that's all mine.
Are you sure you can't give us any leads on your father?
Mama mentioned once she met him at the White House.